They lied to you from the very start. They told you to chase, to grind, to consume. They called burnout ambition, debt, leverage, noise, success. But real wealth moves in silence. It doesn't flex. It doesn't rush. It doesn't beg to be seen. You've been chasing numbers without peace, titles without rest, status without stillness. And every day they sell you more hustle, more distractions, more dopamine wrapped in gold. But the wealthy you never see, they look broke. They move slow. They disappear on purpose. Because real wealth is quiet. Real wealth is time. Real wealth is space and control. Not of others, but of self. You were taught to show. Now it's time to learn to let go. This isn't motivation. This is an exit. Keep watching. The trap. You wake up tired, but you call it drive. You chase numbers, but you call it purpose. You scroll past strangers in mansions and somehow feel behind. You say you're building, but you're just running. From bill to bill, from goal to goal. You buy time with caffeine, buy dopamine with delivery, and call the pressure success. But here's the truth. You're not free. You're leased. You're mortgaged. You're owned by things you think you own. You've confused movement with progress, busyness with value, and exhaustion with ambition. They told you to grind, but never taught you to rest. They sold you growth, but hid the cost. The cost was peace, stillness, joy, and now, you don't even know what silence feels like. But you will, soon. The whisper. One day, it hits different. You open your eyes, and the silence feels louder than ever. The watch doesn't matter. The car doesn't matter. The goals, blurred. The titles, heavy. You look around and realize nothing you chased made you feel full. You built a life for validation, but forgot to build one for peace. You dressed for attention, but starved for rest. You ran after success, but ignored freedom. And now the whisper begins, quiet, uncomfortable, persistent. What if there's another way? A slower way, a quieter way, a way where wealth isn't shown, but felt, not loud, but deep, not many, but enough. You won't hear this on stage or read it on a motivational post, because truth doesn't yell, it whispers. And if you're ready, keep listening. The shift you stop chasing, not because you've arrived, but because you're finally awake. The noise feels cheap now. The clout feels hollow. You start to crave quiet, routine, order. You stop counting followers and start counting hours. Hours of stillness, of control, of clarity. You notice things, the weight of a good chair, the silence after saying no, the freedom of not replying. You begin to subtract. One app, one payment, one meeting at a time, and with every subtraction, you feel lighter, not poorer, but clearer. This is wealth now, not in your wallet, but in your breath, your mornings, your margins, and slowly, the hunger shifts from more to enough, from proving to living. You haven't escaped yet, but the walls are cracking, and this time, you're not running, you're walking. The core. Real wealth is quiet, but not empty. It's filled with things no one sees. Energy, sleep, time, the freedom to wake without alarm, the space to think without panic, the power to choose who enters your day. It's not just money, it's margin. It's air between moments. It's your name not on every list. It's your phone not ringing, your calendar not bleeding. Wealth is the power to pause, to log off, to walk slow and mean it. It's not found in upgrades, but in boundaries, not in status, but in sovereignty. You stop asking, how much can I make? And start asking, how little can I need? Because needing less is owning more. And the richest ones, they don't fight for attention. They disappear into peace. While the world screams, they listen. The distance. You walk through the noise, but it no longer pulls you. The ads feel louder. The flex feels cheaper. Everyone's running, faster, harder, toward nothing. You see it now, the hunger, the tension, the exhaustion behind the smile. They chase attention, like it feeds them. But you've tasted something else. Silence, margin, presence. And now, everything loud feels fake. Everything crowded feels heavy. You watch the scroll, the self-comparisons, the rented confidence, and you choose stillness. Not because you're better, but because you're done. You're done with proving, done with begging, done with performing wealth, instead of living it. They call it boring. You call it peace, because the richest person in the room is the one who doesn't need to be seen. The system. It was never random. The stress, the noise, the endless chase. It was built that way. A system designed to keep you hungry, distracted, exhausted, endless ads, endless upgrades, endless goals you didn't choose. You were never meant to arrive, just to run, fast enough to spend, but not fast enough to breathe. They sell you dreams and bill you monthly. They reward you for staying busy, but punish you for slowing down. They call it ambition, but it's addiction. Addiction to more, to noise, to proving. And the only escape is not louder, not bigger, but quieter, simpler, less. You don't beat the system by fighting it. You beat it by exiting it, silently, completely, without applause, without announcement, just and gone. And that's when they notice. When you no longer need them, they lose their power. The foundation. You start again, but this time, on your terms. No audience, no applause, just a life that fits. You design your days like a craftsman. Sleep on purpose, eat in silence, work in deep focus. Not to impress, but to align. Your money stops leaking. Your space breathes. You own less, but use everything. Your calendar shrinks. Your peace expands. You automate what drains you. You protect what fuels you. You learn to wait, to watch, to hold. You build wealth slowly, in layers, invisible to the world, but felt in your bones. No validation, no performance, just rhythm, just clarity, just power. You no longer chase returns. You chase peace, because peace compounds. And now, you don't look rich. You are rich, and no one can take it. The result. One morning, you wake up slow. No alarms, no meetings, no urgency. Just light through the window and space to think. You walk into your day with no rush, no performance, no mask. You forgot what anxiety felt like. You forgot how it felt to chase. Because now, you choose where to go, who to call, what to build. You own your time. You own your energy. You own your mind. No boss, no debt, no pressure. Just clarity. The life you designed in silence now breathes without noise. No one saw it coming. No one understands it. But you don't need them to. Because freedom doesn't need witnesses. It just needs to be lived. And now, you live it. The truth. True wealth was never about what you had. It was always about what you could walk away from. The noise, the proving, the pretending. You let it all go, and nothing broke. You stopped chasing, and nothing collapsed. You stopped performing, and finally felt real. You lost things, and gained space. You gave up status, and found peace. You said no, and time came back. What you thought was sacrifice was actually freedom in disguise. You don't need more. You need less. Less noise, less need, less of what never mattered. Because the richest man is not the one with the most, but the one who needs nothing. And now, you are no one, to everyone, but everything to yourself. That is wealth.